It's very, very nervous competing in tournaments, and it was one of his first tournaments he's ever competed in World of Warcraft, so we totally understand the nerves. As Gordon Ramsay gets ready for the opening here, he opens up onto Cawthon with a pounce into the Fairy Fire, into the dots. Now Gordon Ramsay shifting into bear form right away. He gets the wing clip off, though, does Cawthon luck, but he's stuck in melee range. He lands the grenade, however, and he does get the improved wing clip to get some distance, but the Feral Charge coming from Gordon Ramsay. Cawthon luck is in huge trouble here. Insect Swarm, Moonfire dots, but he gets the scatter shot. Does he get the trap? He does. So an opportunity to reset here for Cawthon luck before he fires off the big damage in the out-of-form Gordon Ramsay.
Yeah, he's trying to set that right now out of the ice trap. He does get a lot of damage. That's a huge spike as the Nature Swiftness comes through, but he actually lands the net onto the Hunter, so he's got within melee range. Still going to be a close finish here. Gordon Ramsay doesn't have his NS, but he does have melee range on the Hunter. In that route, he's not going to be able to get away, get the distance he needs. The Moonfires should finish this one off. The Whip Tubber is a little heal for the Hunter. I'm not sure if it's going to be enough to keep him in the fight, though.
The grenade coming in at the very end from Gordon Ramsay, and the pressure dished out by this Feral Druid.
2 wins on the side of Gordon Ramsay, now 3. Cawthon luck with just the 1 win, as we do see the second opener here for the Druid.
Gordon Ramsay opening right up. He gets the Nature's Grasp, but it only secures down the pet. You've got the rest of the zoo unleashed onto Gordon, who's taken a pretty significant bit of damage there. He got a counterattack, but he immediately shifted out of it. Gets the bash off onto Cawthon luck. That Troll Hunter, low resistance chance, but the second counterattack, great RNG there, coming in the clutch for Cawthon luck, who might get bailed out here with a scatter shot into a freezing trap. Gets the first aid off as well. No Moonfire, no Insect Swarm, but he breaks it a little prematurely. Opts for the distance instead. Is it gonna be enough? NS is still on cooldown, and the huge crits coming out from that aim shot, taking down Gordon Ramsay, even in dire bear form, penetrating through that armor.
One more piece of RNG goes my favor, and I win that duel. But meanwhile, Nazgul, you know, he was living the SL Warlock dream last week. He was able to pick up 14 out of 14. Let's see if Xaryu can dent the armor a little bit here.
We see Xaryu there equipping the Shadow Resistance set and Frost-Oving this Voidwalker. He's going to try to take him out before the sack comes off, but it looks like the Frostbolt got resisted, and Xaryu now has to make up some time here with this big damage. He's expending a lot of mana here. A second Frostbolt is resisted, and now Xaryu's in big trouble. A lot of damage expended there by Xaryu, and the sack goes off regardless. So it looks like the play was a little bit risky, and he pays for it as he eats the Death Coil. The Frost Nova is resisted once again by Nazgul the Orc, and now Xaryu's taken a ton of dot damage. You can see him just giving up right here. Yeah. He went all in on the play, and unfortunately didn't work out for him.
14-0, 2-0 Ziqo last week. Xaryu, though, were very, very close duel against Snutz. As we do get underway here, big opener potentially for Xaryu, gets right on top of Nazgul.
He goes for his vintage Frost Nova Cone of Cold, super aggressive play. This is why this guy is so fun to watch. He plays this class like a battle mage, almost like it's a melee mage. His battle chicken enrages pretty early on. Great RNG there, going in the favor of Xaryu right now, who appears to have the advantage. Here comes the Fear, immediate Will of the Forsaken. No, he goes for the Ice Block instead into the Furbolg Medicine Pouch, so he gets the advantage of the heal as well. And now Nazgul running a little bit low on mana, but so is Xaryu as he goes for the second Fear. Does it land? No. Imp counterspell onto Nazgul from Xaryu. He has the strong advantage. He's going to press it here if he can. Curse of Agony, though, comes out onto Xaryu, but it's immediately decursed. Goes for the Cone of Cold. Now Xaryu running out of mana. Ice blocks the second Death Coil, but he does take the damage from it, so he's going to have to recover in one way, shape, or form. Probably going to go for the Polymorph, but Nazgul is not taking the bait. He's charging up the Immolate. There's the Frost Nova. Xaryu going to do what he can here. Goes for the Cone of Cold. No lucky crit for him, and just too much damage coming out from the SL Warlock.
Right now, but beyond that, I think it's going to be a really tough first duel.
As we see Biotox charge immediately, but a nice Storm Strike there from Cdew into the Frost Shock. Big damage coming out there from Cdew with a little bit of RNG luck with that Hand of Ragnaros as he lands the grenade as well into the second Frost Shock. No Ice Reflector used by Biotox, and he pops the Recklessness possibly a bit too early as the Goblin Mortar prevents him from getting in range, but now he's close, but it's a bit too late. Cdew finishing off Biotox. He pops the Recklessness. We'll see if he's able to get off a Reflect on that Frost Shock. The duel flag is down, and here comes the charge from Biotox onto Cdew. Immediately, once again, a huge Storm Strike coming out from Cdew, but Biotox retaliating with that big Mortal Strike crit. He gets Cdew out of the Gnome's cloaking device with that demoralizing shout, and now he's in melee range. Does he have the range for another Mortal Strike? He does now. Big damage coming out from Biotox. Does he get the execute off? Healing Wave is cast at 1%. It's cast once again. The Mortal Strike debuff doing work, but Cdew able to cast through it. There's the War Stomp, though, coming out from Biotox, but he has no range, so Cdew pops to a Brute Tuber. Frost Shot comes out onto Biotox. Cdew gets the Lesser Healing Wave. No Mortal Strike debuff, so it's a full Lesser Healing Wave. Second Frost Shot from Cdew into the Fire Nova, but it's not going to matter. Biotox gets the execute off at the last second and takes the win. Both of them are looking for a couple of extra wins. Bobka currently in third place, 2 shy of Valcor at 6 wins at the moment. Toes in second place right now, but not sitting too comfortably. He has 8 wins so far in a pretty competitive priest bracket, as we see Bobka employ his cheeky cheap shot strategy, coming back in, trying to accrue as many combo points as possible.
Yeah, so this is a good strategy, but unfortunately the sap, it's very reliant on having a very long sap because, you know, you have to go for the restealth, you have to rebuild your energy. So Toes is going to be able to reapply his shield, meaning that Bobka probably is actually just going to wait for that sap DR once again here. Toes actually goes for a fear. Maybe he saw Bobka for a second there. He used his fear. Now that fear is not going to be available for Bobka if he chooses to open, but instead he's just going for the exposed armor, getting up those combo points for that. And now he's going to have a big opener potentially onto Toes, who does get his pets out between the sap once again. Bobka is just outwaiting all of these cooldowns.
He goes for the Garrote instead of the big burst onto Toes. Instead of this cheap shot, I should say. But Bobka's all over Toes right now. Exposed armor onto this already squishy Shadow Priest. Pops the Shadow Reflector trinket as well. Is Toes going to be able to get the distance here? He probably will not. But the kidney shot's resisted by Toes. It's going to matter. He gets the Power Word shield off just in time into the Mind Flay. But the huge damage coming out from Bobka's Viscag is too much for Toes. And he drops the duel 0-1. Fortune. As we get started here with Matt opening up onto Bruce Wayne. Matt is at 2 wins right now, so he needs this win badly. But Bruce gets the grenade immediately off onto Matt. Gets the trap as well. That's a non-DR trap. No scatter needed for Bruce, as he's able to take down all the Barop peasants. Moonfire falls off, as does the Insect Swarm, and he's going to heal right back up into the first aid bandage. Again, a non-DR trap, so Bruce is having a great time here. Charges up the aim shot. It's not going to go off. Matt breaks out just in time, but just a multi-shot crit eviscerates Matt as he gets the bash off. Is he going to get a regrowth? No, he's going to stay in melee range just for a second. Regrowth onto Matt. No, he gets scattered, and there's the trap. It is DR'd, but Matt does get the NS off in time, and he also gets his, as he charges right back into the Moonfire, as well as the Insect Swarm, concussive for shot proc in favor of Bruce there, as well as the Viper Sting. He's trying to bleed Matt's damage out, but the Viper Sting gets removed immediately, gets cleansed immediately, I should say, as Bruce Wayne's looking for that distance, gets the wing clip off. Scare Beast, no, Matt's able to break out of form just in time to prevent the fear, but he's got to shift back in if he wants to stay alive. He's taking so much damage here from both the pet as well as Bruce Wayne's auto shots, as the scatter trap lands. No resist there on Matt's behalf. And now Bruce, taking advantage of the server takes, trying to recover as quickly as possible as he eats while he orb walks.
Yeah, really nicely played by Bruce. Honestly, the duel got a little bit close because he did DR his own scatter, but now he's got that final reset. Matt doesn't have the nature swiftness. This is going to be a 1-0 in favor of Bruce Wayne. And
as Matt stealths back up, again, Matt only at 2 wins thus far, but he gets scattered out of the opener as we have a bit of a controversial play here. It looks like Bruce may have saw Matt use his I can't remember the name of the ability, but essentially if any abilities are used in stealth, it technically nullifies the opener. It's considered that the opener has already occurred. So Bruce able to knock Matt out of stealth there. I'm sorry, the Tiger's Fury. He saw him with the Tiger's Fury and he knocked him out of stealth, as Matt tries to recover here however he can, but he gets trapped, and I'm just speechless. Did Bruce equip the, I was going to say, did he equip the stealth detection goggles? It doesn't look like he did, but he's able to get the Scare Beast off as well onto Matt. No, he opens right back up, forcing Matt out of form and forcing Matt into a lot of damage. No, he goes for the conservative Viper Sting play instead, and now with the wing clip, Matt's forced to just trudge along, shift out, get whatever damage he can. He does get the huge NS off as well as the Whipperoot Tuber, so big recovery there by Matt, but he's low on mana, and Bruce Wayne has the advantage here with this trap.
Yeah, it's actually really fortunate for Matt that the NS did at least come back up for him. And Bruce Wayne, again, the trap was actually DR here, so it's not going to be too much distance, but it's just so tough for Matt, especially since he's already very low on mana, to actually find this kill. Let's see if he can do it. He uses the pet to try get a bit of extra damage. Scare Beast probably going to force him out of bear form once again here. Matt is low on mana, but Bruce Wayne's also dropping quite low on health. We'll have to see if the scatter does come up in time, but there's just too much damage. Unable to find it, and Bruce Wayne takes the 2-0. This is going to be fantastic, especially since Ziqo currently leads the Mage bracket as well. He's got 11 wins. He just saw Xaryu lose 2-0 to Nazgul, so this is an opportunity for him to extend that lead against Snutz, but Snutz has been an absolute legend. The guy's only dropped one duel out of 28 in the entirety of the CDL. This is going to be a fantastic duel as we already get into it.
Snutz sitting at 27-1. We'll see if he goes 28-1 or 27-2 as the spell lock comes out just as Ziqo lands the grenade. Such presence of mind by Snutz. This guy plays this class on a whole nother level. Not to mention the class is super strong as it is, as Zico's doing whatever he can to get it to range of Snutz, gets the Cone of Cold off, but there's the Curse of Agony, the Immolate, and the Corruption into a Death Glow. Ziqo, though, immediately ice blocking it off into the Frost Nova. Will the Forsaken? No. He blocks out of the second, the Fear, I should say. And now Ziqo has the advantage onto Snutz. The Fell Hunter's there for the annoying dispels, but there's the counterplay by Ziqo. Countered, though, with the spell lock from Snutz. So Snutz not giving Ziqo any space whatsoever to free cast on him, as Ziqo now is forced to run and reset. Goes for the evocation. Here comes the Fear. No, Ziqo blinks the Fear out of range just in time, so he gets a couple of ticks of that evocation off, and no Fear onto Ziqo as he's running back into range. Frostbolt, that's a rank 1 Frostbolt onto Snutz. He gets the Frostbite proc, so Ziqo has a little bit of a chance here to counteract Snutz if he can. Outranging the Fear there is Ziqo. Great play there, understanding the distance game and playing it very, very well as he jumps right back into range. Looks like that Cone of Cold was resisted, however, by Snutz. He goes for the grenade, but the dot damage is a little bit too much, and Ziqo goes down.
Yeah, it was such a good duel there from Snutz, honestly.
As we get started with this next duel, Ziqo versus Snutz in this best of 2 CDL qualifiers, the weekend finale, as Ziqo opens up onto Snutz with that Cone of Cold, but Snutz laying down the dots, as well as the Zoo. No, that's a Zoo deployed by Ziqo, so he's got all the pet damage as well, and he's going full aggro onto Snutz into the Arcane Explosion. Snutz, though, he doesn't have a pet up right now. I'm sorry, it's the Fell Hunter in the back. Couldn't see it there. So the Fell Hunter is playing in the back, and Snutz is intentionally keeping it at range. That's a 200 IQ play there by Snutz, who gets the Fear up, but it's immediately willed by Ziqo. Puts on his Mana Shield, hops back in, goes for the Cone of Cold. The Fell Hunter, though, he's going to come into range now. Getting ready for that spell lock if needed is Snutz. But Zico's almost totally out of mana right now. He goes for the Frostbolt. No, the Imp Counterspell instead as he charges up the Frostbolt. Ziqo, depending on what damage he can do here, no. The full Fear gets unleashed onto Ziqo. He's unable to blink out of it in time. And now just ticking down to the Curse of Agony. Last few ticks of the Corruption as well. Takes Ziqo down, and Snutz takes a 2-0.
Get the bleeds up, get the damage rolling. He kills the Rogue really, really quickly, especially with the gear that, as you said, most of these warriors are opting for some pretty hefty weapons compared to what we saw. We got Deathbringer, we got the Disc, as you said, on Zitox. So we're going to see the Sap Opener from Bobka. Bobka's notoriously known for kind of playing the distance to avoid melee, but also avoid the charge. Let's see how he can do in this one, because this is a pretty good opener for Zitox so far.
He got the intercept off, and that was so crucial. Now Bobka's in big trouble. He's got the deep wounds ticking. A big overpower came out from Zitox, so Bobka is in huge trouble here. The intimidating shout comes out. This could just be the end for Bobka as he gets the blind off, but he has both rend and deep wounds ticking, so he's gonna have to go for the sap reset here with the food as well. No resist there coming out from the sap for Zitox. So Bobka, he's going to be forced to first aid bandage back up as the deep wounds falls up at the last second. And it looks like he's going to go for the Garrote play once again into the Vanish. He's not going to risk that intercept once again. Adapting immediately, understanding that Zitox has his number. And now Zitox, again, using the server, takes the food to his advantage, trying to recover as much as he can as he drops combat. There's Bobka opening up. No, the gouge is resisted, however, so he's forced to prep blind onto Zitox and go for possibly another reset here. No, he goes for the Garrote right away into the kidney shot. It's not resisted. Now Ztox is in huge trouble. The Eviscerate lands, and Ztox now pops the Whipperoo Tuber and swaps over the Bone Reaver's Edge. It looks like it's Bobka who's in trouble right now. Piercing Howl comes out. The grenade is resisted, though, by Bobka, bailing him out. The other grenade is resisted by Ztox. So here we go, the battle of the balls, and Bobka takes it.
He just sort of like backpedals just out of range of Ztox. He snares him, so he can't quite get those melee swings since he isn't playing the Tauren Warrior, he's playing the Orc Warrior, he has less range. The kidney resists here for Bobka, as Ztox is going to get an opportunity in the second duel.
And the grenade, it looks like, backfired as well, or it came out from Ztox. I couldn't see right there. The grenade, though, is resisted by Ztox, and now he has an opportunity to get an intercept off. Is it going to be vanished by Bobka? I don't think he has any vanishes up yet. The Goblin Mortar is resisted by Ztox, so he has the opportunity to fully recover here, as this net is taking forever. Bobka, though, the opportunity to re-stealth now as he drops out of combat. He's going to be looking for the openers. Ztox has to be careful. Does he want to spam Demoralizing Shout, trying to get Bobka out of combat, or does he preserve his rage? No, he just ends up eating and trying to hold on to dear life as much as possible as Bobka opens up with a Garrote as well as the Rupture. But the Horned Viking Helmet comes into play from Ztox as he pops the Recklessness and the Potion. Huge slam into the Mortal Strike coming out from Ztox into the Execute. Absolutely deleting Bobka there.
Druid, which is something that we wouldn't have said was likely if you look at kind of other dueling metas in Classic later on when more gear comes out. But in this gear setup, it actually feels like the mages do have enough damage to burst down these druids. So let's see how Xaryu does. He's already had a really good opener here. Gordon Ramsay's super low on health, as Xaryu is having a lively start.
But there's the Feral Charge into the Gnomish Death Ray, but it's going to be easily blocked by Xaryu. So the cancellation of the Death Ray by Gordon Ramsay, he pays the price. He ends up taking the damage from the channel, and he's unable to get the cast off. Would have been a sick play, but Xaryu quick to adapt and gets the counterspell off as well. The Feral Druid stands no chance against the Frost Mage. As Xaryu equips his 6 Demon Bag, we'll see what lucky or unlucky use he gets out of this, as well as the Goblin Mortar, as Gordon Ramsay opens up into an immediate Frost Nova from Xaryu. Kona Cold to follow, gets the grenade off, gets the Frostbolt off, gets the damage off with the lightning coming out from that 6 Demon Bag, and Gordon Ramsay is deleted.
Ultimately, he needs to run Snutz out of mana and find that kill whilst avoiding as much damage as possible.
Absolutely, as we kept comms clear a little bit for your listening pleasure, ladies and gentlemen, as we get started here, Bruce Wayne gets the Viper Sting onto Snutz, as well as the Frost Trap, so Snutz is slowed down a little bit here, as he's trying to get in range to reapply those dots, but just the Corruption and the Curse of Agony is a little bit too much, as Bruce Wayne, he doesn't get baited by the Nightfall proc, instead holds onto his Shadow Reflector in time to get the trap. No, the Scatter breaks early, no trap for Bruce Wayne, and he's in huge trouble. Gets the Viper Sting off, forcing the life tap, as well as the sack is actually not even consumed yet. So the counterattack comes off, but it doesn't matter. Snutz still has his second sack, and Bruce Wayne has very little HP to boot. The Curse of Agony, it's ticking down, but is it going to be enough? He pops the AGM to stay alive, trying to recover here with the food and drink ticks, but there's the pesky Voidwalker keeping him in combat, keeping him annoyed. He gets the improved wing clip off, however. He might be able to finish off this Voidwalker if he's lucky, but no, Snutz is going to be able to get the double sack, as well as the grenade, and the wand ticks to boot. Bruce Wayne does go down there. Sitting now at, I think, 30-1 so far is his total record in the CDL. We'll see if Bruce Wayne's able to give him his second loss, the first one being dished out by the Little, of course, as Bruce Wayne again opens up with that Viper Sting, but Snutz, understanding there's no reflect, he fires off with an early Death Coil just to get that sure damage off, and he has all 3 of those dots ticking: the Immolate, the Curse of Agony, the Corruption, Goblin Mortar. Is it going to save Bruce here? The SL mitigation, even with the crits, it's not enough for Bruce. Without the SL, he might have been able to do some big damage there, but the improved Concussive Shot bailing him out, as well as the Viper Sting. Snutz is completely out of mana. Bruce is doing all right if he can pop the Whipperoo Tuber. It's probably not off of cooldown, however, and he just forfeits the duel at the very end. Not enough damage there coming out from Bruce.
Just because of how complicated and how difficult this tournament has been for these warriors. We can see the cheap shot opener coming in from Payo, as once again, he's going for that combo point builder to start off this duel.
And I really like what Biotox was doing there, keeping his character moving around, switching directions in case Payo went for the cheap shot opener, possibly delaying his damage for just a couple of seconds longer as Payo gets the kidney shot off onto Biotox. He's not an Orc, so no extra resist chance. Biotox, though, with the spider belt, immediately breaks the net. Is he able to get the intercept off? He is. But Payo, though, vanishes. The damage coming out from Biotox, that Mortal Strike did not go through, batched by the server and the vanish. So Payo able to stay alive just a little bit longer as the second Mortal Strike goes through with the deep wounds ticking. But Payo gets the blind off, and he's going to be able to recover here with the sap as he gets ready to first aid back up, but the sap breaks on the heartbeat. Intimidating shout broken by Will the Forsaken, but big damage coming out from Biotox. It's not going to be enough. The Eviscerate takes him down from the Little, of course.
A lot of that opening damage did come from the pet, so it's super worth farming for this stage.
A lot of gold, very, very costly item, but if there's anybody that's going to be able to farm it, it is this little goblin. Or should I say not so little goblin? He's got over 120 arcane crystals in the bank and was just gifted 4,000 gold on stream yesterday, as well as like 40 Black Lotus. So Payo has all the money that he needs. Does he have the damage that he needs against Biotox, who uses the Horned Viking helmet? I'm not sure if he disconnected, but it looks like we've got a problem here with Biotox, who's just standing in place. Could have been a disconnect there, and he goes down. So it is a disconnect there from Biotox. Absolutely. And Fizz, you know, one of the few Shaman that's actually gone into the elemental build. As we get started here, Toes immediately taking out the totems of Fizz as he opens up with a Chain Lightning. Does a pretty decent chunk of damage onto Toes, as well as the Flame Shock ticking Toes down. The Blackout proc, though, unfavorable there for Fizz as he gets into melee range as Toes, and he gets the Psychic Scream off. So Fizz, unlucky with the RNG there, getting the Scream out, but the Goblin Mortar is resisted. He pops the Shadow Reflector Trinket. Is he going to go for the damage here, or is he going to go for a grenade of his own? And he does. No, he cancels it. No, he whiffs it, I should say, into the Chain Lightning. The Power Word Shield is too late by Toes, as Fizz does a huge amount of damage, pops the NS as well. He has the advantage here. If no Blackout proc comes into play, the grenade, though, it lands from Toes, and he gets the Flash Heal off. The Fire Nova Totem just a bit out of range for Fizz, not able to finish Toes off, and he gets the Mind Blast into the Mind Flay at the very end. Came down to the wire, a couple of inches on that Fire Nova, and Fizz could have taken the victory there, but it's Toes that comes out on top.
Yeah, there was a couple of things for Fizz. He could have actually won that duel if he just hit the nade. The nade whiffed, I think, and then also the Fire Nova, as you said, Tips. Both of them, if they had hit, that would have been a win for Fizz, and that would have been huge. But ultimately, Toes survives the duel. It is a very volatile duel, especially the first one, where the Elemental goes for that flat-out damage. The Nature's Swiftness was also used there by Fizz to keep him in the fight, keep him aggressive. And without those cooldowns, it's going to be tough for him in the second duel here against the Shadow Priest. But for Toes, you know, he's also one of these people that a lot of people were expecting him to just kind of rule the Shadow Priest class in the duel tournaments. He was always the top performing Shadow Priest in the beta server. So now we have to see him really step it up here today, because he's currently behind Trickster by 2 duels. Trickster will be playing tomorrow. And Sarah, and obviously since he's not here, this is his opportunity to build the gap on that Priest as well. So really good start there for Toes. He's going to be happy with that win, despite losing the first duels to the Rogue earlier today. There were so many haters on him coming into this round of the bracket, right? Because he didn't have the strongest performance in the early bracket. He proved himself in many, many mirror matchups to get here. And now he's showing himself as one of the top mages on the server. That's a huge amount of burst onto the map, forcing the Nature Swiftness out. And already, you can see the Zico's really in it to win it here.
Dude, he had an insane Frostbolt to Fire Blast crit. Just crazy damage and crazy RNG coming out there for Ziqo as he almost finished Matt off in the first couple of seconds of the duel as he gets the Goblin Mortar into the Frostbolt. It's a max rank Frostbolt. Does he get a second one? No, he's going to play it a little bit more conservatively. Goes for the Evocate instead as Matt goes for the regrow. Tries to recover here if he can. Gets the Insect Swarm and Moonfire off. Ziqo, Cone of Cold is resisted by Matt. Frost Nova shifted out by Matt. Matt now on the aggression here. Ziqo goes for the Frostbolt. He gets it and the crit to boot, but it's Matt that's trying to finish him off. But the back-to-back damage from the Fire Blast and the Frostbolt, Cone of Cold, and the improved counterspell. Now Matt's in serious trouble, trying to get behind Ziqo and cancel the cast, but trying to stay in this tournament. He's significantly behind Reverie and Soda Poppin'. He has a long way to go to cover that ground and get back up to those two top Druids to advance the championships. So every duel counts for Matt right now as the grenade lands once again from Ziqo. Just a huge damage coming out from him in that duration is insane as he ice blocks off the dots and he just goes full aggro and he takes Matt out. Double win for Ziqo and no losses versus Cawthon Luck, who's looking to climb his way back up to the top of the Hunter bracket as well. Every duel counts for him too, as he's sitting on 1 or 2 wins at the moment, but he gets a big aim shot crit to start off the duel. Concussive shot, no proc for him there, but he does get the Goblin Mortar. However, the stun is resisted. The fear, though, about to come out from Nazgul. No, it's not. Instead, he tries to dead zone Cawthon with this net. Now Cawthon's just stuck, taking all of these Warlock dots as well as the Death Coil. Counterattack lands, but it's not going to matter. He's taken so much damage. The Shadow Burn as well. There's the first sack from Cawthon Luck. He's not going to need to use his Fell Dom. And Cawthon Luck goes down to dots just as he gets the Freezing Trap off. To the championships, the top 2 of each class will be doing so, and Nazgul and Cawthon are fighting to be the top 2 of their respective classes. As we start off this duel, multi-shot comes out from Cawthon. This time the grenade play coming out from Nazgul, instead taking a page out of Cawthon's playbook. He does get the scatter trap off, however, but look at that dot damage in tandem with the Voidwalker. He's already so low. He's gonna have to reset. No, instead he powers up for the big aim shot, hoping for crits, hoping for RNG, hoping for something to keep his hopes alive. Cawthon Luck on the verge of elimination today, and he knows it. He does take the L against the SL Lock, and he's managed to do pretty well so far today as he is the current Shaman leader. Where he's tied with Cdew at first place, with Payo now opening up with the Gyro onto Fizz, trying to negate that mill armor, bleed through it instead of taking it head on as Fizz pops the AGM. The Rupture, though, comes out from Payo as well, but look at the huge damage coming out from Fizz. That elemental damage as Payo's forced to vanish early on and potentially reset the duels. No, the Barra Peasants keep Payo in combat and knock him out of stealth as he goes for the kidney shot. It's a full duration kidney, but he's going to be able to get the damage off to finish off this Shaman. No, he does not, but he gets the blind off, and the Flame Shock about to take down Payo. Can go for the bandage here. He does. And he might be able to get a reset here onto Fizz. He gets the sap. He's going to go for the food as well and the reset. Payo, understanding that the Shamans can be so lethal, and he's playing for the conservative play.
Yeah, it was really nice. But actually, Fizz, he squeaks in the nature swiftness between the stats. That is there for physical. He really needed that. He would have almost certainly gone down to Stunlock if not for that. And this is still a pretty good opener for Fizz. He's forced out the blind from Payo already. He is high on health. And he's already done a fair bit of damage to Payo, forcing out the Whipper Tuber, so that's going to be off cooldown too. So still very much in the balance here. Payo, he could always preparation, use his second blind reset if he wants to, but then he won't have it available for the second duel. So he's suddenly going to look to greed that. But I think for physical, this is actually a really good start here against Payo.
And it looks like Payo was not able to get the sap off the Magma Totem, ticking him out of stealth. And the Chain Lightning coming out from Fizz. Huge damage onto Payo, who's got the Flame Shock ticking as well. He's going to have to go for a gouge. No, he goes for a grenade, but it's resisted. And Physical takes down Payo. Fizz is absolutely dominating today. And I love the positioning here by his totems. He has the Searing Totem set apart from his other couple of totems, his Stone Skin Totem and his Poison Cleansing Totem, as Payo opens up once again with the Garrote and the Rupture play. So not opting for the burst, instead for the reliable, consistent damage as Payo pops the Whipper Root Tuber. The Fire Nova Totem goes off, however, and the huge Earth Shock damage. Payo able to vanish with no dots on him, so he's able to run for daylight here and potentially reset if he wants to. No, he's going to go go for the sap onto Fizz, who is casting lesser healing wave. So he interrupts the healing wave. And Fizz is going to be in a little trouble here. No NS to bail him out just yet. Payo's going to have to act swiftly, though, as Fizz breaks the sap on the heartbeat again. Does he get the lesser healing wave off? No. Payo goes for the blind instead, but the poison cleansing totem removes the blind. Payo gets the kidney shot, though. Big damage about to come out onto Fizz from Payo, who lands the grenade and disposes of physical.
Yeah, nicely played by Payo there to take the second duel. I'm really curious how long is left on.
Prepare to fail fish over and over again as Matt opens up onto Nazgul, the undefeated SL Warlock of this regular season. He gets his dots off Insect Swarm, Moonfire. The War Stomp, though, is resisted by that Orc Warlock, but the Bash is not. So Matt able to get some RNG in his favor there. The full duration fear, however, onto Matt. No, it breaks early as he gets back into range. Can he force a sack? He gets Death Coiled and Soul Burned instead. Melting. To the power of the void. These druids, man. Nature versus shadow, man. It's just,
Nazgul can win 2-0 there, then that'll be kind of the true display of class for him on that Warlock.
We'll see if he's able to channel the power of Mordor and Sauron in those mirror matches. But right now, he's against this ferocious bear, Matt, who's opting for the full Shadow Resist set. So there's a big trade-off of stats there for Matt. That's why he's so squishy. His neck, back, and rings all have 0 stamina on them. And that's why you can see him melting here so fast. He's hoping for the resists, but no matter how much resistance you stack, if that dot lands, it's going to do a ton of damage to you, especially without those counter stats. And Matt is just withering away to these corruptions, to these curses, to these plagues that are festering inside his Earth Mother spirit. But in the regular season, it's just another level of competition, a big step up. And we've seen him struggle a little bit, but I'd love to see him take a win off of the Black Lizard if possible. Rooting for my boy Ziqo, but at the end of the day, the underdog always prevails as Ziqo goes for the polymorph onto the pet. No, that 1.0 attack speed just pestering him down. And a little bit of a misplay there by Ziqo. He does land a mortar, however, which could bail him out. But now he's got to do his best to dead zone this hunter who the grenade resists onto Cawthon Luck, but it lands onto Ziqo. Cawthon gets a bandage tick off. He might have the advantage here. He's got to be careful. He gets the wing clip, that ice barrier and mana shield, but Zico's completely out of mana. Gets caught in the scatter. The trap, though. Oh. Look at the range on that trap. Are you kidding me? Ziqo, though, he pops a mana gem. Cawthon Luck, he's in melee range. He's going to finish Ziqo off. No! 2%. The Raptor Strike, just not enough to take Ziqo down. So close for Cawthon Luck there. But maybe Hunters, maybe a class he's just not quite as comfortable with. That being said, he's an incredibly talented player. Had the longest rank 1 win streak in World of Warcraft history. As he charges back in, or blinks back in, I should say, onto Cawthon Luck. This time the Goblin Mortar is resisted, and the boots backfire! Zico's in big trouble. Cawthon Luck gets the bandage off. He gets 3 ticks from that bandage, so he's able to recover there. The Gnomish rocket boots backfiring onto Ziqo. As he goes for the Frostbolt, no, he has to cancel it last second, goes for the Imp Counterspell instead, as Cawthon Luck pops the Frost Reflector trinket, forcing Zico's hand. The Nova comes out, though. The scatter shot into the trap. Is it gonna land? Look at the distance. It still lands. Ziqo runs right into the trap, and Cawthon Luck has some new life here in this duel. Is he gonna get his victory here? He charges up the aim shot onto Ziqo, who's taken a lot of damage. The Viper Sting as well into the concussive shot. Ziqo gonna be crawling towards this hunter. He's forced to pop the AGM. Now Cawthon Luck on the rim of the duel line. He might get hit by a huge Cone of Cold. No, he's not. It does not crit. He's in range. He's dead zoned. Can he get the hit? He doesn't.
No way.
Great
Ziqo.
dead zoning there by Ziqo at the rim of the duel line, and Cawthon Luck, unfortunately for him, 2 heartbreaking duels back to back against Toes, the BlizzCon champion, the multi-time rank 1, the player of Wiener Guy, as Toes gets the immediate blackout proc from that charge. Are you kidding me? Biotox is slamming his keyboard right now as he pops his Recklessness and Rage Potion, but he wasn't able to get the damage off the initial charge, so It's so hard to break through this power word shield without one auto attack to start off with. He finally goes ham, however. Now Toes is in trouble. Does Biotox get a big crit? No. Toes able to get those flash shields off. No pummels coming out from Ztox. He gets the grenade, but it's not going to matter. The Shadow Word Pain ticking him down, and Biotox drops to Toes despite using his recklessness in that first duel. Shadow Guard being a priest racial for trolls specifically. Priest's the only class in the game is the Blackout proc. Again on the charge for Biotox. If he wasn't angry before, he's seething now. As the Mind Flay goes off, he gets the net, but it's already too late. It's a ticking time bomb, these Shadow Priests, and Biotox with no rage left, unable to do anything but take the L as he waits for this cheap shot opener and potentially for Bobka to just acquire combo points here. No, Bobka opens up with the Garrote right away. Frost Shock comes out from Ziqo as the Rupture comes as well. Taking the more conservative play like Payo, learning from his Canadian rival, Bobka goes for the more consistent damage, doesn't go for the burst, doesn't want to get resisted with that cheap shot, but it looks like he might be paying the price for it as this damage just comes out from Cdew. Bobka's just killing himself here with all that return damage. The NS doesn't come out. It does not, and Cdew, under the effects of the kidney, goes down, but he takes Bobka down to 3% as well. Love their streams. All they're playing is these cooking shows, but they're pretty interesting as we see Gordon Ramsay open up onto Snutz. We'll see if a Druid takes a game off of an SL Warlock. Perhaps not a balanced Druid, but maybe a Feral Druid as he gets Death Coil, though, right off the bat. Aggressive Death Coils coming out from Snutz today. Very different from how he played during the qualifiers. Usually hangs on to it as long as possible, but I think he feels his power curve and he feels his advantage in these duels, and he looks to press it each and every turn as he's been launching these Death Coils right at the start of the duels. He's launching these dots. He's launching this damage. Look at him just wanding Gordon Ramsay down. No respect for the Feral Druid. Snutz just obliterates him there.
On the Druid classes, but they just have such difficult opponents. It's so difficult to see where they're actually going to find these wins.
As Gordon Ramsay opens up once again, this time popping the Shadow Reflector right off the bat. Not sure if that was the play there. There's no Death Coil on Snutz just yet, so it might have been a bit preemptive. He pops the manual Crowd Pummeler as well into the Gnomish Death Ray. Does he get it off from the bash? He doesn't. He cancels it early. So the Gnomish Death Ray does not go off. Gordon Ramsay a little bit too antsy there at the very end. He cuts the Gnomish Death Ray just a tad bit too early, but he takes the return damage from it. I think that's the second time he's done that today. He's got to be kicking himself in the foot right now with Snutz, again, with the disrespect. Disgusting play coming out from this SL Warlock, and it doesn't matter. Gordon Ramsay goes down. Snutz, so cocky, playing like a man possessed. Very excited to watch this one. Love both of these competitors very much. Both great people and both great World of Warcraft players. Bruce Wayne starts off with a quick reflect on the rank 1 Frostbolt, trying to get whatever distance he could, but Xaryu, man, he just knows, man. This guy is so reactive. He's so quick. And he just immediately charges in onto Bruce, blinking in right away. He pops his first ice block. Is that a 6 demon bag coming out from Bruce Wayne there? Wait, the polymorph. I'm guessing that was a 6 demon bag. I'm not quite sure what happened there, but nevertheless, the polymorph got reflected by Xaryu. Bruce swapping out the trinkets right away, and he gets a new breath of life. coming out there from Bruce. That might have been a 6 demon backfire from Xaryu, actually, who's now completely out of mana, as Bruce is just kiting him at this 40-yard line, but the duel range is just a little bit too short for Bruce, who pops his AGM. Invocation comes off. Does he go for the nade? No, he gets the scatter instead. Drops the trap. Xaryu now out of ice blocks, but he kites around the trap. Great awareness there by Xaryu, managing his distance as Bruce Wayne tries to force him in, but it's too late. The Fire Blast finishes him off, and I love this. The Furbolg medicine pouch on the Hunter to recover, as well as the Gnomish cloaking device and the Goblin Mortar. So Bruce Wayne looking to outlast Xaryu here and play the control game as he gets the Goblin Mortar, but it's resisted. The net is dropped as he popped the Spider Belt. He's holding on to it for a little bit. Goes for the first aid instead. Bruce Wayne throws the grenade. Now he used the belt. No, the Gnomish net just wears off in the duration. Xaryu again playing around that trap so beautifully, not going within the damage, understanding the range, understanding the distance. That shows he's a man who's been practicing against Hunters a lot during this past week. The Frostbite as well. Bruce Wayne in huge trouble here. The backup of the Frost Nova. He's just stuck in place. Goes for the first aid. Gets one tick off. Gets the scatter as well. Xaryu now low on mana. That Furbolg medicine pouch doing work for Bruce Wayne, keeping him alive. Oh, he fell into the trap! He fell into the trap, and now Bruce Wayne tried to run away to get distance, but Xaryu just blinks right back in. Ice blocks. Bruce Wayne, though, he drops a trap. No, I'm sorry, this is another trap. As Xaryu tries to walk back into range, he goes for the Frostbolt. He's out of mana. The Viper Sting. Rank 1 Frostbolt coming out onto Bruce. He's completely but the Fire Blast coming in the very end, finishing Bruce off. Currently right now, here is the overall standings for the CDL regular season up to date as of now. Obviously, group number 1 has not gone yet. They will continue tomorrow. Today we're doing all of group 2, tomorrow all of group 1.